So hi, this is Bennie from deepliving.com, and I'm talking to Gemma Keeney today, who's a good friend of mine. And Gemma, you and I met 2 years ago at a Sedona retreat.
Ago.
Yeah, Sedona retreat in Sedona.
That's right.
So thanks for making the time to have a talk to us. The main purpose today is people have been asking me a little bit about Sedona, and because you and I have been doing some great work combining Sedona and EFT, I thought it's the best way is to get someone who really knows what they're talking about, that'll be you, to help people understand what the Sedona method's about, and more specifically, how it can help them. So before we get going about Sedona, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, okay, so my name is Gemma Keeney and I am now a Sedona Method coach. But prior to that, I had a very interesting and varied life. I'm trained as a geologist. I work specifically within an engineering form of geology. So most of my professional career has been within the oil industry. And so suddenly from the oil industry to working with people to become free and happy and healthy, and it's quite a radical transformation.
It sounds like it. So what was it that sparked you moving out of the oil industry into doing this?
Well, I've just been doing Sedona for a few years, and it just makes so much sense to me. The more I share it with people, the more I see how effective it is, how deep it is, and how transformative it is. And really, I've just gravitated towards it, and really it hasn't been a decision, it just has happened. So I couldn't help myself, really.
Well, amongst the other things we share, that's something else we share actually, because as you know, I was in the IT business for 20 years, and about a year and a half ago I decided that I wanted to do EFT full time. Yeah.
It's just incredible, cool. Really.
So Gemma, when you're ready. So Gemma, what is the Sedona method?
Well, in a nutshell, the Sedona method is a very easy to learn and very easy to use technique that reminds us of our natural ability to let go of any uncomfortable thought or feeling in the moment. And usually for most of us, when we have these difficult thoughts and feelings, what we normally do, and not naturally, but what we normally do is we try to push them down or suppress them in some way. And that looks very much like pushing it down, pushing it away, trying to fix it, trying to change it, trying to understand it, or trying to deny it. Or we express these difficult feelings. We tell our friends all our problems, or we get really angry and expressive about that. But really, our natural tendency is some balancing point between these two behaviours, which is simply to allow these energies that we call thoughts and feelings to arise in awareness and dissolve, to let them go. And so the Sedona method is simply reminding us to tap back into that natural ability to let go. And the reason it's so easy, we're not really learning anything new, we're just remembering how to let go, because we carry that blueprint. When we were born able to let go, difficult things were just arising in awareness and then just dissolving. And it's only after a certain point that we really believe these thoughts and feelings about us, that they're personal, that we start to really attach to them. We start to give them meaning and significance. And then suddenly we're carrying around this huge bundle of concepts and ideas about what we believe we are. So very simply, the Sedona method reminds us of our ability to let go. It's a verbal process where either I would ask you or you would ask yourself a series of questions which would lead you to discriminate. Is this uncomfortable thought or feeling serving me, or is it not? And then simply choose to let go.
That's an interesting point, because what I wanted to ask you was, why is it that sometimes we want to hold on to feelings, painful feelings, resentment or anger, wanting to change the past, even though consciously we know they're not serving us? Why is it that we want to hold on to them anyway?
Well, the mind will come up with a million justifications for holding on. Well, I'm holding on to this anger because he or she did this, So that's one level of justifying holding on. But when we go beyond that, beyond the mind's justification or explaining why we have these difficult feelings, ultimately it's because we believe we are our thoughts and feelings. We become very personally attached to them. So when things happen to us in life, it feels like a very personal experience, a personal attack or a personal loss. So all holding on in one way or another is trying to defend this sense of self. And I'll emphasize it's a sense of self because it really is a feeling of self. It's not really what we are, but it certainly feels that way. So we'll do anything we can to justify holding on to that sense of self, including holding on to thoughts and feelings and behaviours that really don't serve us.
That's where a sense of, certainly for me sometimes, a sense of righteousness comes in. That somebody wronged me in some way and somehow holding on to this anger or resentment will make it better or get back at them. Or... So how did you discover the Sedona method?
Well, I think I was just very lucky, and it probably seems a strange thing to say, but, I guess I had a very, normal, on the surface, very successful life. But I just kind of woke up one day and had this very strong sense that, there were some things that maybe were not serving me. There were some ways of thinking. And really, I just heard myself say, you just got to let go. You have to let go. It was almost like a very strong intuitive push, let go. But I didn't know how to. I truly believed in my heart that I had no idea how to let go. But I just had this strong sense that that's what I had to do. And then by chance, as if there is such a thing, a few months later, I heard this man called Hale Dwalskin, the Director of Training at Sedona Training Associates, be interviewed by someone else. And this man, Hale Dwalskin, simply said, Sedona method reminds you of your natural ability to let go. And in that moment, I couldn't believe I'd listened to him and basically he discussed things very much like we're discussing. And then he spent a few moments sharing with the listeners this Sedona process, the very basic Sedona process. And I sat and listened to it, and I did exactly what he suggested I do, and I couldn't believe the results. I mean, just things started dropping away effortlessly, in a way that I would never have imagined. And in that moment, I just knew that I had to be very, very fully involved in this process. So since then, yeah, it is. It's amazing. It was just literally a gift.
So talking of that, one of the things that I love about Sedona is that we don't need a lot of time to explain the process. It's not, as you said a few times, it's very easy to learn. So how about, would you like to do us a demonstration, maybe do it on me, so that people out there can follow along and get a sense, instead of us just talking about it, actually get a sense for themselves about how Sedona method can help them.
Absolutely. Fantastic idea.
So what do you want me to do?
Yeah, so